Oh my goodness, it is so unbearably hot right now. Here in Pennsylvania, and the entire East Coast is about to get hit with a massive heat wave. It's supposed to be 95 degrees tomorrow, I think, in Pittsburgh. I think it's supposed to be 95 in Chicago. I'm not sure about New York, but the whole East Coast is going to get hit with a tremendous heat wave. So for you guys who are on this East Coast with me, stay safe, stay hydrated, and keep out of the heat because it's going to kill you. So with that said, if you don't see me making videos in the next couple of days, that's probably the reason why, because I'm going to hide, I'm going to read books, drink iced tea, and sit in the air conditioning. I am not going to be out in this crap making videos, okay? With that said, so as a continuance of my previous video about homelessness, one of the questions that I always get asked all the time, and I never really officially answered this question, so I'm going to take this time and answer it now. How did I get myself out of the homeless situation that I was in? Well, that's a very interesting question, and I'm going to answer it. I can really go on about this and make an entire video about it, but I'm going to explain it very briefly. And I'm going to use myself as an example to the idea that I presented in the previous video about small business owners expressing a means for employment opportunities for people who don't have an income and are living out in the street. One of the last residence I was staying at, the last homeless shelter I stayed at on the north side in Pittsburgh, was run by a wonderful group of volunteers. And one of those volunteers I became friends with on a rather personal basis, but not quite, because as of now I really don't even have contact with him anymore, and I'm kind of sad about that. But it turns out him and I would always converse in the evenings when he would serve me dinner, and he'd say, you know, how's your job hunting going? How's this going? How's that going? How are you, keeping your spirits up and stuff like that? And we would exchange just basic dialogue about things. And I would tell him what's going on and my perspective of this situation. And he was very passionate about the homeless cause. As I stated in the first video, there are so many people out there that will never get thanked for what they do. This individual is one of those people. It turns out he owned a construction business in Pittsburgh. I'm not going to mention his name, even if I knew his last name, which I don't, but even if I did, I wouldn't mention it because it just, it's not proper for this video, nor is it relevant. It's just his act of kindness that is. And since I can use myself as an example, I know this will work. He came to me one Friday evening and he said, look, I know you're looking for work right now. I own a construction company and I'm in the process of restoring a house here on the north side that you can walk to. And he said, how about you come in and help me out? Well, my initial response to that first off was no, because I am not a construction worker. I said, I really don't have those kinds of skills. I said, I don't know anything about plumbing or electricity or drywall or any of that stuff. He said, don't worry about that. He said, I'll just have you as a laborer. You can be a gopher. And those of you know what a gopher is, and that's what I did. And I made a small amount of money. I worked for him for about a week until the project was over. He offered me further employment, but I decided, through a number of factors that I don't want to get into right now because I don't have enough time in this video, but I decided then and there that I needed to get out of Pittsburgh. My morale was so bad, my depression was horrible, and I knew if I stayed in Pittsburgh, something bad was going to happen to me. I just had to get out. I got a bus pass. I left the city of Pittsburgh a week later. I had some money in the bank. I had applied for another position to the town in which I was going to and got a job. I'm using myself as an example that the small and medium business owners out there who are in the community, who volunteer at homeless shelters, like in the case with me, have the means to offer people jobs. They can be restaurant owners, come in and have the person wash dishes or sweep the floors, learn a cooking skill. I do wish, instead of just feeding people and giving them a place to sleep for the night, that homeless shelters would have an employment program, a trade school, if you will. You're already spending massive amounts of money keeping these people fed and keeping them sheltered for a night. We need to bring vocational techniques into the shelters to teach these people a trade. Give them the value of obtaining skills so that they can get a job. That's part of the solution to this big problem we call homelessness. So by instituting that, we accrue little by little, giving these people an invaluable incentive to learn skills while they're out there in the shelters or while they're staying out there learning jobs and trades that they can apply to their real life situations to get themselves out. It works. I am living proof that it works. And for someone who's new to my channel, or you find yourself in a homeless situation and you're watching my channel, God bless you and keep your head up, as so many people have already told you, but you need to find the means to get an employment secured. And you can do that even if you don't have an address. I don't want to hear homeless people saying, I can't get a job because I don't have an address. That's the biggest myth about homelessness that's out there right now. Yes, you can get a job. You can use the public welfare office as a means of address, because a lot of homeless people do. That's how they get mail. You can use the homeless shelter as a place of address, and most people have cell phones. I had a cell phone too. I had an Obama phone, and for those of you who don't know what that is, Google it. Homeless people qualify for cell phones. They may not be the best cell phones, but it's enough for you, someone to call you and offer you an employment opportunity, or whatever opportunity that you may need in the future to get yourself out of the situation that you're in. There are many opportunities and there are many services that homeless people can take advantage of that will work for them. And one of these is a person who has a means of business that you can attach yourself to, that you can present your situation and say, look, you know what? I just need a little bit of help right here, right now. Do you think maybe you can, offer me employment? You might be surprised at the answers you get. It may not be a solution. I'm not offering a solution in this video. I am not trying to present myself as a person who is an expert on homelessness, because I'm not. This is just one part of the spectrum that I'm offering you, because I've been there and I know what it's like. This is the best opportunity right now that exists for you. For those of you who are watching it and you don't see any way out of your situation, I am telling you that there is a place for you to get out of your situation. There is an opportunity for you that's waiting. You have to find it, and you have to be patient. All the money that has been spent on homelessness, and there's still 40,000 people tonight that don't have a place to sleep in downtown Los Angeles. Not everybody wants to stay in a homeless shelter. That's another thing to itself that I want to briefly mention in this video. When you read the Los Angeles Times and the San Francisco Chronicle and you see all those tents pitched up in front of people's places of business and their residences, do you know why that is? Because homeless shelters are terrible places. It's prison for a night. You don't believe me? Well, the guy that's sitting here watching this video on his $1,000 iPhone in an air-conditioned coffee shop, go live in a homeless shelter, stay in a homeless shelter for one night, for a week. And let me know how you like it. Let me know what goes on. I made a video about this. It's in my Homeless in Pittsburgh series. I made a video about homeless shelters. Let me know how nice and cozy it is in a homeless shelter. Let me know how many of those homeless people are sitting there holding hands with each other and singing Kumbaya. Let me know how it is. Let somebody make a video about it, like I made a video about it. Get back to me on that. And then you wonder why there are so many people who are camping out in front of people's places of business. Now, again, that doesn't give them the right to doing what they're doing. I already addressed that in the first video, so I'm not going to get into that. I already addressed that. But this is the most perfect, to me, this makes the most perfect sense, is to invite employment opportunities to people who are willing to work. Now, I'm going to say this very briefly, okay? There's a difference, as one old man told me a long time ago when I first got into this situation, there's a difference between being a bum and being homeless. There's a significant difference. There's also a dark side to homelessness, which I've mentioned so many times in so many videos. But I can show you people right now in the city of Pittsburgh who sleep in homeless shelters that make $1,000 a night. Now, the question you're going to ask yourself is, well, why would a person who sleeps in a homeless shelter that makes $1,000 a night want to sleep in a homeless shelter? I'll let you figure that out. Okay, I'll let you figure that out. I'm not going to answer that. Okay, but that's just one example. Okay, I don't want to get off track here. There's so many stories that I could tell you. This is a situation that just has so many variables, guys. You who watch these videos and you're doing research on it and you want to write a book about it or whatever it is that you're going to do, whatever your intentions are, as good as intentions that I see most of the time that take place on YouTube and the newspapers, they just don't cover all areas of this, just because they just simply can't. I can sit here and make 1,000 more videos about this, but I'm just giving you what I believe to be one of the most misplaced solutions to combat a large part of this. And I do feel that this is a community problem and that the community has the answer for it, not the government. I'm not going to, without getting into politics about this, okay? The community has the answer to this. The government does not have the answer to this. The government has thrown $1 billion at this problem already in California, and look at it. So I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse here. I have given you one perspective, one man's opinion. That's all I am. I don't claim to be an expert on homelessness. I just had my own experience with it, and what I just told you in this video is what got me out of it. an employment opportunity, a small employment opportunity. It wasn't a big one. I wasn't making nowhere near the wages of a unionized construction worker, okay, or an iron worker, or, you know, nothing like that. But it was a start, and it was a fantastic, fresh one for me. And it gave me the motivation that I needed. It picked up my spirits, it picked up my psyche, it picked up my physical demeanor, it picked up everything, guys. It picked up everything. This works. The employment opportunity work, the community works. The government does not, okay? It just doesn't. So to sum this all up and put it in a very simple perspective for you, no matter what kind of situation you can find yourself in life, if you have the desire, you can get out. I'm living proof that, you know, there's a happy life waiting for you. Homelessness, contrary to popular opinion, is not a death sentence, guys. You can get out of it. Okay, it doesn't have to be your life. It doesn't have to be the rest of your life. It only has to be a small portion of your life, just like it was for me. Okay, and I do believe that what I've presented in this video is the best way to get yourself out of this. If you find yourself in this situation, this, I believe, is probably the best incentive for you. Because the longer you stay out in those streets, the more deadlier it's going to become for you. So with that said, I hope that I have answered a few more questions about this. I hope I'm not boring people with stories, okay? I love to tell stories, so I hope I'm not boring you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. But, you know, if you want me to talk about something else, I'll talk about something else. But I just love giving you my perspective and my initiative about what I think should be done about this. So I hope I don't bore you too much. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Give me a like, subscribe, tell your friends about this. And for those of you guys out there that are, you know, doing research on this project, or you're considering writing a book, or you're doing a podcast, I hope that I've given you one perspective of it, perhaps that you haven't heard, or what the media may be missing. I can go into it more and more and more, but I hope that this is probably my last video that I'm going to make about this. Unless I have something else that I think that I can say about it, then I will. So until then, let me know what you think. Stay safe, stay hydrated, because the heat is really going to get turned up here in the next couple of days, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Have a great week.